Just in time for vacation season, travel expert Heather Greenwood Davis is helping us to get set go with valuable tips. And we're going to start right off with long haul flights. What do you do for a long? And a long haul is what? Anything over about 6?
I'd say over 5 or 6 hours.
Okay.
And you know, long haul flight travel is back, and we know this because flights to Singapore on Air Canada have actually been selling out, and I know that because I was on one.
Okay.
So Air Canada is now offering the longest only non-stop flight to Singapore. Any guesses on how long it takes you on board that flight?
A long non-stop 14 hours?
That's close. That's close. So it's just over 16 hours.
Wow, that's a long time.
That is a long time on a plane. So you want to make sure that if you were taking a flight that long, the destination is worth getting to. And in this case, it definitely was. So Singapore is absolutely gorgeous. Lots to do. You can, of course, incredible food.
Yep.
We know that. Lots of shopping, lots of cultural excursions you can take. While you're on the plane, if you're going to get to this great destination, I have a few tips. So one, if ever you were going to upgrade, this is the time to upgrade, right? Your economy seat's fine, but if you can get into a premium economy seat, a little more leg room, or get up to a first class seat, I mean, do that anytime you can. It's going to make your trip that much better. You also want to make sure that you're as comfortable as you can possibly be, even if you're in an economy seat. So making sure you have your noise canceling headphones, right? You want to make sure you can get the sleep you want when you can get it. Bring your chargers for your phones, all of those kinds of things. The other tip is to make the most of your layover. So of course, 16 hours from Vancouver to Singapore, but you still got to get to Vancouver if you're in Toronto, which can be another 5 hours. So that makes for a very, very long journey. So instead, break it up. When you get to Vancouver, maybe add a day, do an overnight, so that flight doesn't feel quite as long, you know, the entire journey.
Help you adjust to the time change.
It will also help you adjust to the time change, because Singapore is 12 hours difference.
Wow.
Yes, which is my last tip for long haul, which is adjust to that new time zone as soon as you possibly can.
Yeah, so stay up stay up till their bedtime.
Yeah, if you can, and definitely, and on the flight as well, like thinking about, it may be breakfast time at home or dinner time at home, but what is it in Singapore? Should I be eating now? And when you land, I know some people want to do the whole, you got to stay up until it's bedtime when you're there. You got to go with your body. If you feel like you really need to take the nap, because oftentimes that first night is a difficult one when you're sleeping. So the second thing I want to talk to you about is cruising.
Love cruising.
Cruising is absolutely back, right? We know that. And river cruising and expedition cruising are particularly popular. When you are cruising, though, I think, again, you want to add a day, at least a day before you go. And think about adding a day on the tail end. So before you go, it's because you want to make sure that when you're getting on that ship in the morning, you're not worried about your flight being delayed.
Yes, because it could be delayed for all kinds of reasons, not just weather.
It could, and it can mess up your whole plan, right, if you can't catch up with the ship. On the way out, a lot of people, as soon as you're done with your cruise, you think you're going to want to rush home. The fact is, cruises can be busy. And if you can, you're usually starting in a great city. So I did one this summer with Avalon Waterways. It was their christening launch. It had Sherry O'Terry from Saturday Night Live on board, fantastic lady. It started in Porto. Who doesn't want to spend time exploring Porto, Portugal? So we did, on that ship in Porto, I managed to get some time at the Casa d'Arquitectura, a great museum about architecture. We went down to the beach. You walked those tiled streets. Like, there's just so many great things that you can explore in Porto. If you've given yourself a little extra time, you get to do that.
Okay, that's great. Okay, we've got about a minute left, I think. Let's talk about luggage.
Yes, so that's my third tip. For sure, we are still doing carry-on only as much as you can. That being said, oftentimes that carry-on bag is going to be taken from you at the gate.
And checked.
And checked, whether you like it or not. So you want to make sure you've got access to the things that you're going to need on board and the things that are valuable and most important to you. You can yank those out quickly, and definitely we're still using Apple AirTags, putting those in there, and also think about putting them in things like your purse.
Or your briefcase.
Or your briefcase, right. You want to make sure your little fanny pack, you want to make sure that anything that you could leave somewhere, you can find.
Okay, I want to travel with you.
Anytime,
the best places. You can travel along on her social media. We'll get those links up on our website, chch.com. Happy travels to your next trip.
Thank you.